everybody. And maybe we'll wait a few minutes because my plan for today is to do an actual remote viewing. And after we do the viewing, we'll go to the website and see what we were supposed to be looking at. So we won't even pick the target until after the viewing.
That's
So
good practice. So I appreciate that.
I can prove to you guys that you can remote view in the future because the target hasn't been selected yet, but you're going to see it.
Okay.
So
You do have a bit of an echo, Terry. Do you have another device on?
no, I don't think it's me that's echoing. I think it's Charlie. He's turning green.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? This is remote viewing we're doing right now. It's great. We're seeing each other remotely.
Hmm. We are remote. We are remote. How's everybody holding up with all of the stuff that's going on in the world today? Everybody doing all right? Not too good? I just want to check in because it's the energy to me anyway, is just incredibly ridiculous. I don't think I've ever felt anything like this before. And I think it's the final vestiges of normality or what we think is normal. And I think it's going to change. And I think it's going to change for the better. But I think there's going to be a just some real difficult to handle time between now and then. I think it's a process. And so, I having been a government employee for 42 years, both in the military and as a civilian. First of all, thank God I retired before all this mess went on. But it's really hard for me to see the way that people are talking about government employees, the way that they are talking about some of the services that we have come to depend on, and the way that they are so sensitive to insult themselves. It's very, to me, very interesting thing to watch, because now they're suing people for disagreeing with them. Yet they're calling these people all kinds of names in the process of doing that. And they still have like a 42% or 46% approval rating. And that's the part that I find hard to swallow. It's just like, what is going on? And so I've been doing some research into that. Like, have people absolutely lost their minds? And I have been doing some research into that. And I think it's because of the bubble that some people are in. They only take their news from certain places. They only listen to certain things, and they're being lied to, which is another incredible energetic issue with me. Is that if you can't live in the truth, where are you? So I think the way that I resolve it, like about 10 times a day, um, is to try to find my truth in this mess. Understand that we are living in a non-reality, and that the reality really, it's up to us to find our reality in the midst of all this. And does anybody else have any thoughts on that? I know I've just kind of dumped on you a little bit, but what do you got, Nick?
Yeah. Well, anyway, everything's being upended and chaos is being created. And I feel that, and the devastation of the effects he's causing hasn't all come into play yet. And it will, because certainly every time you do excise taxes, you're adding to inflation and the cost of living. So there's a lot of chaos going on right now. But in our personal lives, we're certainly seeing a lot of doctors and dentists and dealing with their own stuff. But for me, it's always the truth of being is to find that center within ourselves that's beyond chaos. So we can bring clarity in to our situation, to our lives in a more sound way.
I think that's perfect, Charlie. And I think it's our situation. It's a little bit harder to do that because we just spent, the last 5 years, we're just recovering from being isolated. And I think I know for myself, the whole, having had to stay home, having to be isolated during the pandemic, kind of taught. I haven't really opened up my doors yet. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I still feel like I want to be isolated in many respects. So I think it's interesting that it almost feels like we are forced to go through this on our own. Does anybody else feel that way?
We're here to make a choice about that. And I'm seeing conversations on a couple of different angles. And one is that the veil is very thin right now, and it is time to make some serious choice about change and moving from 3D to 5D, et cetera. But on the business side and on the political side, I'm hearing that this is organized disruption that is meant to wake up more people in the world, and that it will be temporary, and that things will kind of fall out in varied ways. But we get to make that choice as to which dimension and truth we get to live. And so I'm telling people that I'm just carrying on and doing my good work, my light work, and not being so distracted by headlines that I can't function. I just keep doing good, and I keep doing things in a way that is less targeted. I change my words a few times because, you'll get things shut down if you use certain phrases now. And it's like, okay, well, if that's their truth, then I'm just going to carry on and try to be right path living on my own and with the people around me. And I only hang out with people that have positivity about making changes going forward and taking matters into our own hands collectively. Because what they're saying is that it takes a massive set of voices to shift something that's so out of control at the moment. So I'm being hopeful. That's my positivity coming through.
Nice. Does anybody else have any comments on it?
Well, in Canada, I mean, I'm in Canada. Uh, if anything, wow, Canada. He's brought Canada together. We've never been this patriotic, self-aware as a country ever before. And it looks like, because 2 months ago, the Conservative Party, which is the Republican Party in your country, was 40 points ahead in the polls. And now in 2 months after all the crap that has been thrown at us, they've dropped 40 points. And so now it looks like we're going into an election, and the voices that I pay attention to are suggesting that it's going to be a liberal sweep of government. And we were faced with, and it looks like he's being just pushed aside because Canada is very aware of what's going on south of us. I kind of feel like I'm the upstairs neighbor of a crack house, and it's really knocked some sense into a lot of Canadians, and we'll just have to see what the elections hold. But I don't see this happening very long. Uh, you know, again, the voices I listen to, and they're not inside my head, are, predicting that this will be over about the summertime, that between now and the summertime is going to be the craziest, but then after that, it's going to start to settle down. So I'm just biding my time and aggravating the world in the process.
Yeah, there's nothing like a common enemy to bring people together.
Yeah,
You know,
it has been amazing. You've never seen this in Canada. Like the US has always been known for flag waving and patriotism and whatever. Well, that is happening in Canada now, in a very good sort of way. So for Canada, it has been a positive, but I mean, that doesn't make what you're going through any better, but it kind of bodes well for Canada, we hope.
anybody else?
Just, well, the only thing I want to say is minimize the amount of news you consume, and just consume enough to keep your pulse on the nation. TV wants to make you think it's 24-hour, trouble, trouble, trouble. Well, turn off the news and go with independent news if at all possible. There are lots of good voices on YouTube, which are, uplifting and positive.
It's good advice, Kevin. What you got, Laura?
Well, what bothers me the most about what's going on is how other countries are perceiving us. That bothers me. I'd be afraid to go to certain countries right now because they're not liking us at all. I've seen some videos of
We
some.
don't dislike Americans, we dislike your leader.
I know, but
There's a big difference there.
I feel that hatred that they're feeling towards our leader. I'm not going to say president because he's not my president, but a leader. That concerns me.
Yeah,
Listen
no,
to
I
it.
get it. And France wants to take back the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Which I think that's hilarious, just in an ironic kind of way. But I mean, you guys might wonder, why is she talking about this? Well, first of all, it's because I wanted to get your take on it, and thank you for that. But the second part is what I'm hearing because I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, quite frankly. I live 30 miles south of DC. I mean, I get it. I get it all. So what I've been hearing is that talking isn't working, right? We've seen that. If you follow the news at all, talking immediately turns into bullying. So talking isn't working. So what we're meant to develop, or it's time to develop our ways of communicating that don't involve talking, that don't involve face to face, that involve intuition, remote viewing, psychism, mediumship, that involve all of the things that we're working on, because this is what we're going to take with us into the next dimension. We're going to leave all the blah, blah, blah here in the third dimension, and all the bullying and all the pushing and the strong authoritarian attitudes. Those, at least what I'm hearing, are going to be left behind. And as we move on, we have to, it would be easier for us to move on if we have a well-developed sense of our spirit, of our soul. And I think that's why, this group is so lovely, because that's something that we all work on almost daily. But we also can find other ways to work on it, like for example, remote viewing, which we're going to do today. And I think it's an exercise, and I think that's kind of what the pandemic was about too. The isolation was an exercise in learning how to communicate, not only over Zoom, anybody could do that, but to communicate telepathically, to communicate with our hearts, to communicate with our minds, with our souls, and to know, to find, when you're feeling so alone, to find the people who are there with you, or the spirits that are there with you, to recognize those, because they're there. So I think that's part of at least what my quest is. And I think that's part of, um, as we learn, it's the 100 monkey principle. I think that's been disposed of, but I still like it. It's when you get to a certain point, when enough people know something, it reaches a tipping point, and then it becomes part of the collective consciousness. And so I think that's where we're moving with what we're doing. As we develop, we not only develop ourselves, but we also help to lift everybody who maybe isn't as interested as we are. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is good on you. Just by taking the time to remote view, just by taking the time to do some maybe inspired writing, just by taking the time to go into meditation, you are actually lifting all the people around who are in this confusion. Not only yourself, but you're lifting others with you, and that's important to keep in mind. And it also gives us the opportunity, or the excuse, if you will, to free that time up, because right now, I don't know about you guys, but the energy is so ridiculous. It's so hard to find 10 seconds to focus, right? It just seems like, I haven't had a drink since 1985, and I feel like I just want to go get a six pack, just, just to get away from it. So I guess it's collectively very, very hard. And so, like I say, good on you guys for stepping up and taking the mantle and actually wanting to expand your knowledge. So yay. Does anybody have any questions about remote viewing or anything we talked about before we get going? Olivia, are you familiar with remote viewing?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the name.
And you are an honest person. Katrina, I think you were in some of our classes, right? Okay. And Kareen, I think you might have been in one or two of the most recent.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this again. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. So, Olivia, what we could do, trying to figure out, do you feel comfortable enough with doing a remote viewing?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Then there is
We're
no
going to go with
issue.
yes.
But then there is no issue. So what we're going to do is, if there's no questions, Kevin, have you done any more? What have you been working on?
Me?
Yeah, you said you had done some.
I did a few on that site. I seem to be getting about 7 out of 10. If I list 10 things, 7 of them will pan out, kind of thing. And so yeah, I go back and check it every now and then for another thing, because I try to keep practicing.
1 out of 10 is nothing to. I mean, we shoot for 80%, which is 8 out of 10. So, and I think you're probably a little bit harder on yourself than I would be, or than anyone who's done remote viewing for a while would be. So I think you're right up there. You're doing good. Anybody else been practicing or no? Yeah, it's hard to find time. How about you, Nikki? What have you had any success? I think you're muted, hon. Oh, there you go.
It takes a sentence or two for my audio to kick in. I've been with a couple of different study groups that are doing different types of this work. And so I've gone back and reread your documents and then listened in on some things, but myself in practice hasn't been very accurate. And I don't know that I'm comfortable saying that I'm doing a remote viewing yet. So.
Well, first of all, get comfortable with it because you're hitting the target. And don't forget, the biggest principle of remote viewing is we describe, we don't name, right? And I want to explain that just a little bit more. And I've said this over and over again, but it's because we remote view with the subconscious. We remote view with those brain waves that represent alpha and theta. And that is, the subconscious has no words. right? Because that is what we were born with. That's how we learned so quickly when we were young. We picked everything up through the subconscious, but we had no words for it. So when the subconscious communicates with you, and that's what we're trying to do, we're training in remote viewing, is training ourselves to listen to our subconscious. When the subconscious is communicating with you, it's going to communicate with pictures and not words, but pictures, sensations, feelings. You might hear something, but it's something that means something to you. So, my example, and you probably are going to slap me when I say this, but I had the image of sheep, a little flock of sheep, beautiful white sheep, fluffy white sheep. And I thought, oh, there's sheep at the scene. There's sheep on the site. And I drew my little sheep out. And it turns out there was absolutely no sheep, but there were puffy white clouds in the sky. So my subconscious was saying, Terrie, puffy white. If I had said puffy white, I wouldn't have been wrong, because you could have said puffy white clouds. Maybe puffy white four-leggeds would have been better if that was the case. But because I said sheep, I absolutely foreclosed on anything else that could be puffy white. So that's why we say don't name, just describe. And if you get something in your head, sometimes it gets locked in your head and you'd be like, sheep, sheep, sheep. What I should have done was on the side of my paper, just written analytic overlay, AOL, and written down the word sheep. And somehow that like erases it from your subconscious. And then you keep going. You describe puffy white. And if the sheep come up, a couple more times, well, maybe there are sheep there. You still would do the descriptions. You would say four-legged, 2.5 to 3 feet tall. You would describe them rather than naming them. So, okay. So let's do any questions on that, or did that help, Nikki?
That helped.
Just wanted to say that was good reinforcement, because I'm seeing things that I don't name and can't name. And it's like, I just don't know what to do with that. So thank you for that.
Describe it. So describe, and I think I gave you guys a list of the dimensions
Mm-hmm.
to use. So just go through that. What's the texture? What's the color? How does it feel? Are we outside? Are we inside? Is the sun out? Is it lit overhead? Is it dusk? Is it dawn? Is it humid? Is it wet? Is the water there? All of those things that we open ourselves to. That's exactly what happens. Olivia, if I can find that list, I'll pin it on the chat, and then you'll be able to have it for you. And some of you
Thank
who
you.
may
I
not
just left a note to ask about that.
okay, yeah. Some of you who may not, here's one list. Let's see, how do I? Oh, you know what? Hang on one second. Just give me 1 second. Um, mm, 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 mm. Okay. While we're doing our meditation before review, I will definitely put that into the chat, and then you could pick it up when we're done, because I don't want to take any more of your time looking for it right now. So let's see. Are there any more questions?
Well, just a comment. Olivia, if you want to, on the YouTube page, there's a playlist devoted to Teresa's work, and in there, the remote view lessons are listed as remote view. So if
Okay.
you want to go in there and double check. And Teresa or Terrie, I've often thought if you wanted to use those to reference to your students or whatever, they're all on the YouTube page.
Oh, nice, Kevin.
And,
That's really kind of you.
yeah, there's a whole playlist of all your teachings, and they're in there.
Cool. Thank you, Kevin. That's great. And
Terrie, I have a question.
Sure, Charlie.
You know, when I drive somewhere, I see it in my mind before I get there. Is that remote viewing?
What do you see? Do you see, like, do you just see the building, or what do you see?
I see the roads. I see where I'm going. I see where I need to turn. I see um,
Mhm.
it's already like established in my mind.
Do you think that's memory? Or because it sounds a little bit like memory if you've been there before. But a fun trick that I do sometimes that I used to do with Harlan when we would hike is we would park the car and then get on a trail, and then we would try to remote view how many cars were going to be in the parking lot when we got back. And then
Okay.
if we got really good, we would try to remote view what the colors were. So those are ways you could do it. So Charlie, you could try to remote view before you leave. You could say, what's the traffic going to be like? And how many traffic lights am I going to be stopped at? Because you know the route. So, those kind of things, because you're actually remote viewing the future, and that's a great practice. It's a great practice for finding your zone.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
Thank you for that distinction.
Mhm. Okay, so I did put the vocabulary in. I was able to find it. So, what we're going to do is we'll do a guided meditation. At some point, I'll say the word target, and if you're still with me, then you would do whatever process you do to open up and see the target, and then begin taking down, what you feel is important about the target. Um, I want to give you 10 to 15 minutes with the target. So I think we'll be able to do that. We'll do like maybe a 5-minute guided, maybe a little bit longer. We'll do 10 to 15 on the target, and then we'll have some feedback time. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So, and when you remote view, just because, and during the guided meditation, you won't hurt my feelings if you turn your video off. I like to do that because I don't like people to see me drool if I drool or what I'm going to do. So, you're welcome to turn the video off for that period. And I think we lost Katrina. Hopefully, she'll come back. But everybody, if you will, just close your eyes if you want to. Just feel yourself. Give your body over to the chair or whatever you happen to be sitting in, and allow yourself just to relax. And as you breathe in the clear, cool, healing air that surrounds you. And as you breathe out any tension or negativity, especially from the conversation we had earlier. Allow yourself just to let go. And this time, as you breathe in, imagine a wonderful, spiraling, golden, shimmering light above your head. And this golden spiral is just lazily spiraling around in a clockwise circle. It encircles your head and it enters in through your seventh chakra, cleansing and clearing and opening all of the stuff that's there. All of the stuff that we hold in our head, all of the tension we hold in our forehead, all of the tension that we hold in our neck, in our jaw, in our throat. It's all being cleared away down to the muscle, the fiber, the cellular level. And you feel this incredible warmth. And the sparkles are like those scrubbing bubbles, just eating away the negativity, just leaving the beauty, but eating away everything that's not needed. And so we take another breath in, and as we do, it's almost like a pump for this golden energy as it swirls around us, entering our shoulders, where we hold all of our tension and negativity. Maybe allow your head to maybe just turn a little bit, loosen up those muscles. And as you straighten up, feel your head returning perfectly to your shoulders and everything is in alignment. And now this energy comes into your chest. And as it does, it clears your lungs of anything that you don't need. If there's excess mucus there, if there's excess whatever there, it's all being cleared by this wonderful golden energy. Feel the warmth as it surrounds your chest, cleansing out your heart, all the veins and all the vessels and everything that's found in your chest being cleared and cleansed by this wonderful golden light. And now, like warm, sticky syrup, you feel this light as it travels down to your abdomen, into your solar plexus, the seat of your power, the seat of who you are, being cleared and cleansed and being left with clarity about who you are, what you're here to do, and the steps you need to take to make that happen. And although you may not be able to understand those right now, know that they are coming and you will understand them. And that wonderful golden energy is just clearing the way for this clarity. And as this warm, wonderful energy pours into your lower back, fixing the vertebrae there, fixing the muscles there, fixing the fibers, fixing the cells that are in your back. That's the seat of your support. That's the feelings of support that you have for yourself. That's the feeling of being supported. That's all in your lower back. And allow your lower back, all those muscles to relax. And now the energy flows into your hips. Those hips that support so much of our weight and so much of the weight that we pick up. All of that weight is being released. Everything that doesn't need it now, everything that's not needed now, everything that doesn't belong to us is now being released, and it will never come back. And this wonderful flowing energy now flows down into our legs, into our thighs, front and back, and on both sides. And you feel that wonderful warmth energy, and you feel your quadriceps, and you feel everything just releasing and relaxing. And it feels so wonderful just to let go. It feels so wonderful to feel so good in your skin. It feels so wonderful to recognize this wonderful vehicle that you've been given by the Creator in order to complete your tasks in this life. And now this wonderful cleansing, clearing, beautiful energy travels through your calves, into your ankles, and out the soles of your feet into the earth. And Mother Earth gratefully accepts the gifts you have given her of your energy, of your sadness, of everything that doesn't belong with you. She takes that and she transmutes it. That's what she does. And turns it into this beautiful silver light that she sends back up to surround you, circling in a counterclockwise way with the golden light that's circling clockwise. And you find yourself being surrounded by a shimmer of wonderful, warming, safe, healing light. And allow yourself to sit in this light for just a moment. Allow it to reach every cell, every piece of the cell, every atom of your body as it cleanses and clears and heals, relaxes, soothes, and creates well-being. Now, from this state of total relaxation and total well-being, you know that everything is available to you. All of the information in the universe, be it light matter, be it dark matter, be it any matter, is available to you right now, your soul. Because we know that our soul occupies only 5% of our soul is occupied by our body. The other 95% of our soul is in connection with everyone else on the earth, on the planet, in the universe. And now we see our forehead opening up with a third eye to be able to see into places that we haven't seen before, to be able to sense things that we haven't felt before, to be able to smell things that we can't see because our soul is there. And now, as we allow ourselves to mingle with all of the energy around us, we find ourselves ready to view the target. And our intention is to view this target as though we were there, to view this target as though we were standing in front of it, and to pick up whatever is important about this target and to write it down with our eyes open. And if you view the target, immediately allow your hand to draw the gestalt, just a little squibble. That's your first contact with the target. And then allow yourself to explore the target. Explore it from all the dimensions, your sight, your sounds, your hearing, your taste, your smell, your touch. And now, as you open up to the target, you draw your gestalt and begin to view the target. Hey, everybody. It's been about 15 minutes if you're ready to come back. And Nikki, can you give me sharing, please?
I answered yes, so it should be on.
I didn't see it.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Give me 1 second. I had it all ready to go. I don't know what happened. Mm-mm.
This is fun.
Did anybody else enjoy it? It's very fun. Wait till you find out how well you did. Share. Okay. All right. So this is a site where where we get a lot of our stuff. So let's go to the target of the week. Okay. Somebody pick a year between 2006 and 2016. Just pick a year. Any year.
12.
Okay. Somebody pick a week between 1 and 5.
Or
Okay. And now somebody pick a date in column 4.
April 25th.
Okay, doke. Alrighty. It's a location. And let's go with click here for feedback. What do you think?
Hmm.
So, did anybody get water?
yes.
Perfect. Did anybody? Well, maybe you guys should tell me what you got instead of me asking. So what somebody want to share what their drawings were or what they got, what their descriptors were?
I didn't do any drawings, but my descriptors would be blue to violet, ocean light feeling, oval blue blobs, kind of like jellyfish, but I didn't want to say jellyfish. Weightless, violet tunnel, downward forward, like a downward forward moving spiral.
Hmm.
And the shapes are malleable, movable like a jellyfish.
Mhm. Very good. I mean, if you look at it, you got the color perfectly, and color is it's a good thing to get. You know you're there. I think some of your oval shapes could either be these rocks or they could have been these people. But if you look in the next picture, there's an oval shape right there.
Mhm.
That shows you where it is. Anybody else want to share what they got?
I will.
Okay. What'd you get?
First thing I saw was lots of green,
Okay. Perfect.
then blue.
Yep.
I saw something soft and fluffy white.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe this little kid here. White shirt?
or the sand. I don't know. Um,
Oh, okay.
the textures I felt were sharp, and then
Okay.
I got chilly bumps on my skin. Um, I was totally off with the light. I got murky light, very shadowy.
Well, but look at this.
Oh yeah, okay, got it. Okay. Um, motion I got upward or forward.
Well, I think
Uh,
sometimes I think these cliffs could be described. Keep in
okay,
mind that you might, in your subconscious, cliffs to you are upward motion,
right.
maybe.
Okay.
Mhm.
I got green bios, which is my little leafy stuff up there. Um, I got a feeling of calm and contentment.
Mhm.
And then I got energy that was like buzzing, chaotic, and fission, whatever, fission, whatever. It was moving.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Could that have been the waves, do you think?
could be, yeah. And I also smelled a damp smell, which is
Okay.
the water, obviously. That's all I got.
Well, yeah, I think you did well. How about you, Kev? What'd you get?
Uh, I got
Rob Summer?
I got all 10 right. 10 things I wrote down. Uh, I picked up on the white and the sky, and I picked up it was outdoors, and I smelt fresh water. Uh,
Okay.
and it looked like I wrote down meadow or yard, and I mean that would identify the water view. And now, are there any animals in the picture?
There
I
could be
didn't
that we
get.
don't see. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I didn't
I,
get
I'm
those.
I'm guessing that there is, wildlife in these. This looks pretty dense up here. This,
Yeah,
Mm.
so I'm guessing there's something in there. Did you describe it at all? I mean, a
well,
giraffe,
I
maybe
picked
not,
up on
but
the red,
hmm
and then I had people walking.
So this guy's walking, definitely.
Yeah, and red. And
Hmm
red on the beach. So uh, I got a fair amount.
Uh-huh. I knew you would. Who didn't, Nikki? You're hiding. Are you still there?
It takes
She's
a
still.
minute for my audio to come in.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Nikki, what you got?
So yeah, I got quite a bit. I got the I called them peaks and valleys, but I had like high and low spaces, and I had dark and lightness, and I had water, and I had a stillness, which I think is the one below. And in my view, I saw a round white face looking at me like an owl. I thought it was an owl, but it could be that white spot, kind of
Yeah, it's got two eyes in
looking
it,
like
doesn't
an
it?
eye. Yeah.
Mm.
And what else did I get? Green and brown foliage, things to the distance as well as close up. So there was the whatever you call that perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a pathway that was wet and dark below.
Got it. Yeah. Look at that underneath there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
cool breeze and shadows at on the lower side.
Hmm Yeah. So are you I forgot. Was it you that said you can't remote view yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm calling BS on you. Charlie, what did you get? Did you get anything?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. What'd you see?
Initially, I got like a waterfall. And
Okay.
then later, as you zoom out of the picture, I got it shaped more like an eye. I got a third eye a lot. And then
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's this, right? Wouldn't this be that?
Mm.
yeah, I think, no, zoom back out, another zoom out of another view of it you were showing earlier. You
This
see
one?
this? Yeah, see the black ridge and the water line.
Oh, I see.
That
Mhm.
that light area is kind of creating like an eye shape or what anyway. And I got some maybe I was getting a lot of pictures or men mostly, just
Mhm.
their heads. But
Mhm.
I was wondering, as soon as I was getting something, I was saying, "Oh, that's a man," or "That's an eye." But you say you shouldn't name it, right? Because then it kind of disappears. So
Well, it's not that it disappears, it's just that you might get it wrong. So if you had said, if instead of I, which I think is descriptive, but if you had said oval shape,
yeah,
light with dark center, that would describe an eye, and it would also describe this hole,
yeah,
right? And if you had said, biologicals, mostly male, I mean, you have to male, female, there's not much you could do to describe them without getting in trouble. So, yeah, you would say male or female, um, but mostly male. It's hard to tell gender um, from remote viewing. I always have trouble with gender, but I do get their clothing, and it sounds like you got their clothing. Did anybody get temperature?
no,
I did. I did. It's green. Yeah, I
Terrie,
felt
I'm
very,
sorry.
yeah, what? I
I'm
felt very,
sorry I didn't get to you. How are you
no, that's
doing?
okay. I know I just jumped in because you asked, but very, very, very warm. And the house is snapping like crazy right now, which means, spirits are here with me, but very warm, very hot. And if Charlie's done, can I share what I saw? If that's okay, unless Charlie's still talking.
Yeah, I think Charlie, did you finish?
no, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So the other thing that in the very beginning I saw is this, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like light, but like starry and very like very clear and stuff. And now that I'm looking at this picture, when I'm ever at the ocean, I reflect on looking at the water, and you know how you see that the white light sparkling around. So
Well,
that,
right. Mhm.
if
Yeah,
that
I
makes,
just saw that.
yeah. And then the other thing was, but I had a very unique experience. I kept seeing, I was able to see clearer with looking through my third eye than my regular eyes. And I felt this peace. I felt warmth. I felt greatness. I saw that white oval light. I saw all of that. But then what was crazy, I don't know if this is normal, but my whole body was like twitching and vibrating and humming. And I was humming, I could hear myself humming. And then it was just very unique, and I had all this peace, and I felt a lot of peace. But then I felt like my head was in a vice, and the only thing I can think of is when I am in the water, I'm at peace, but when a wave comes, I start getting a little stressed. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that was like me doing that, but the humming was very unusual. It was very relaxing, but my body was twitching all over. I don't know.
So if I were to share an opinion,
Yeah, please.
I think you were about to leave your body. I think you were going to do a out of body experience. I
Okay.
think you were
Yeah.
changing
Yeah.
frequency. And I think that's a lot of people have head sensations when they're trying to leave.
Yeah, because
So,
it was really heavy. So I might have done not what I was supposed to do with this, but my head felt very heavy. And I actually got a message where it said, because my body felt sick and heavy, and I I heard inside my soul where a voice said, when you bring other people's, like, I not hear it, but I felt like this is how I feel subconsciously when I'm involved with people that are negative, or I'm trying to take on negativity from someone else. And this is like how my whole body feels without me knowing that that's actually happening. So it was actually very beautiful because it told me, like, you always need to be positive. I hope I'm making sense. You know what I mean? Like my whole body felt like it was dipped in gunk. So I don't know if that was the out of body experience, because my head felt like it was in a vice. And then, and I
Yeah.
realized, oh, I'm doing this to myself.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the you change it, to go out of body, you have to change your frequency. And sometimes your body doesn't want to give up your soul because sometimes it's afraid you're not coming back. So it won't it won't let you go. So I think that's what the headache is sometimes.
Yeah.
So you have to, if you want to do out of body, and it sounds like you probably already do, but if you want to do conscious out of body, I would have a talk with your body and just say, you know what? Let me go. I'll come back. Just let me go.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
you go on. You go on. You go on.
No, I was just gonna say, if you look at, you look at this tunnel, but it's an 80-foot tunnel. I mean, so the perspective that we have is so different, even in the
Yeah.
photo, and in remote viewing. So, yeah, it is. And there's the
Because
map.
because when I saw that real quickly, I felt dread. Like, do I have to go through that tunnel? Like I wouldn't want to go through that and swim through that.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting. Yeah.
okay. Thank
See,
you for letting me share.
Oh,
I
you're welcome.
got the tunnel feeling, but it was a calm, relaxing tunnel.
Oh,
Like it was
nice.
a movement tunnel.
Yeah, so it leaks too, I guess, to the Pacific Ocean. So you're going from the secluded spot up here to the Pacific Ocean, and that looks like the view from the tunnel. I think that's the view from the tunnel. So the actual thing we were looking at was the tunnel, and so many of you got that, but this area here. So what did you guys think? I know we're running out of time, but I just want to get some feedback about what your thoughts were.
I need to do some more research, but I enjoyed it.
Cool.
I,
Um,
I
Go ahead.
No, I just want to tell you, Teresa, it was great. It was wonderful. I mean, I didn't know, I didn't see all the images, but it really, I got a beautiful message today. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Oh, not at all. It's definitely my pleasure. For research purposes, the person that you want, I mean, there's a free mini course online given by Lori, Lori Williams. And I think she calls herself, I've given you this before, but she calls herself intuitivespecialist.com. And she has on her site, there's like free stuff. And when you drop down, there's like, I think she calls it master course. So if you want to do some more research into how this, not necessarily how it works because nobody knows, but how to do it, I would start there and then decide if you want to, pay somebody to teach you. But with this site, the CR Viewer site, I mean, there's 10 years worth of weekly targets. I mean, you could spend a lot of time, just doing stuff for free.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Oh, there's
Well,
another. Oh, Charlie, there's your eye. I didn't go down far enough. I'm sorry. There's your eye,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah. There's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I just had cataract surgery, so maybe I'm more focused.
Yeah. You're focused on the eyes. But yeah, I mean, if you were, the other thing you could do is change your vantage. So you could go 50 feet up. And if you were 50 feet up, which it looks like this picture was taken at an altitude, you would see the eye. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Any questions about this? I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you all are remote viewers. It's just a matter of decoding your subconscious. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, it was like very good practice to not name things because I thought for a while I was seeing what I saw and I tried to dename it and then I thought I went too far. So then I put names on it. So,
no, don't do that ever. I'm never, never, never. 'Cause think about it, that's the left brain. The left
yep,
brain wants to name everything.
yep.
And that's not where the subconscious lives. The subconscious lives in the right side. And I cut you off. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
No, it was just me kind of slapping my own hand. It's like, just listen to the instruction and stick with that.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, so the next time we meet, we can try to do some map work if you want, because each one of these comes with a map, and you do the viewing, and then you get this piece of the map, and then you can try to figure out where it is on the map. Like this is the answer, but you can get a sanitized map that won't give you the answer if you want to try some of that. Just another step. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys. It was fun.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have any questions, like I say, shoot me an email. We'll see if we can figure it out. All right.
So
All right.
much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I think it's pretty much. Oops. Sorry. Ran over.
It's okay.
We'll talk soon. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
And for next week, we have Bee's friend. She called her a witchy witch, if I recall correctly. Her name is Fern, and she'll be talking about finding, what was it, in darkness, the nurturing of being in dark, of knowing the dark. I don't know what all that means, but that's the topic for next week. And then I put a new calendar into you can go if you need to. I put a new calendar style in the newsletter. So tell me if that works for you, but it's going to require that I fill in who's speaking ahead of time. So anytime you guys want to pick a date and speak on a topic, please let me know so I can plug it in.
Before we go,
Yeah.
just real quick, just as we started that meditation, I got 2 texts, one from Cindy. She's at work and couldn't come on today. And she asked for prayers for her little granddaughter, Aaliyah. She has swollen tonsils and she's very sick. And also, Katrina left because her daughter had surgery on both of her feet and she's been taking care of her, and her daughter needed her, so she had to go off.
Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Any other logistics from anybody, or anybody want to pray us out? We didn't do that. We forgot.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody knows I'm having a celebration of life of 90 years on May 3rd at 1:00. Everybody's invited. I know it's you people live on the wherever East Coast. It's not practical, but I just want you to know you're all invited.
Thank
Wish I was
you.
closer. I would love to
Should
come.
put it on Zoom, Charlie, so we can all be there.
Yeah, we can.
There's a project for you, Nick.
Yeah, Nikki will be here. She could put it on Zoom for us.
That'd be fun.
Caitlin's going to come too. So Caitlin's going to try to come out as well. So
Great.
we'll do our best.
Nice.
One more request for prayers. A friend of mine just was diagnosed with breast cancer and asked for your healing help because she was so impressed with the help we gave my friend Cheryl. She said, "Can they help me?" I said, "Certainly." So if you have a minute through the week, send her some healing. She's going to have surgery soon. And
So, should we end with a healing prayer?
sounds
Please.
good. You got one?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Let us all enter into the consciousness of knowing there's one mind, there's one presence, there's one life. And that life is the life of God, and it's expressing itself through everybody, to little kids with tonsils, to people with feet problems, with all kinds of suffering. The call out to an answer, something to give us certainty about the knowing that we're never alone, that within us is all the healing properties we require. For God is whole, perfect, and complete. And we live in that consciousness of knowing that since we are expressions of God, that we too are whole, perfect, and complete. We lack nothing that is good. And I accept that for each and every one of us. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Charlie.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great week. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oops.